not sure that would be enough.
It's the best.
But that was. I'm not. They might have to.
They were saved.
I don't know. I mean, that Ramirez contract is
the best of baseball.
It is the not pre-arbitration.
Yeah.
It's the best contract.
And how many more years he got? 100?
He's got quite a few.
Like, come on, McNuggets, that's the deal.
But it's not going to his late 30s, though. No. I think he's got going to his mid, I don't know, 4 years left.
Yeah. Boy, you get Ohtani.
Anyway, let's rephrase that because G found
actually you can't even do that because Jose's got no trade clause.
Well, we're saying just with the Angels taking. That was his point, and he's right. But I would like to see fans come up with not involving Jose Ramirez.
What days are you on the show next week?
I'm actually off all next week.
So.
Great idea, Paul.
I'm actually off to training camp.
I'm off next week and the first 2 days of the following week, and then I'm on every day.
So you're basically off through the trade deadline.
Yes. The guys are gone.
No, I'll be back.
You're basically off through the trade deadline.
Yeah, you're off the deadline. Yeah, you're off the deadline.
I am. I'm not back.
I will do it tomorrow. We will do it tomorrow.
I might have to switch up some of my days off with Steve. I don't think I should miss the trade deadline. I didn't think about that.
Because if you ain't here, we're going right through it.
We'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll do it tomorrow. I'm going to add it to my list right now.
I may work those that Monday and Tuesday, or one of those days, the trade deadline, and take off some other day. Because I don't want to miss the whole trade deadline. I don't know why I haven't thought about that.
I get it.
Bad job, Eddie.
Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about quarterback.
And before we do that,
yeah.
I want to remind everybody that if you're not already a member of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, frankly, what are you waiting for? For just $1.99 a month to become a starters tier member, that gets you loyalty badges, custom emojis, and members-only community posts. For $4.99, you become a coaches tier member that gets you all those same starter tier perks, plus overtime videos, member shoutouts, and much, much more. Also, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, help us out. We appreciate all you guys very dearly for supporting us here on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show.
So we've talked about the fact that there's this new documentary on Netflix called Quarterback. For those of you who haven't watched it, it's fantastic. It's just to have a frame of reference, it's kind of Hard Knocks-esque, except it only follows 3 specific players on 3 different teams. This year, this first season of it, they just announced it's going to be a second season. They follow Patrick Mahomes, Kirk Cousins, and Marcus Mariota. In other words, a star quarterback, a solid starting NFL quarterback, and a guy who's fighting for his starting NFL career or career period. It's produced, NFL Films is involved, Peyton Manning's production company is involved, I can't remember what the name of the company, Omaha Production.
Omaha.
So they're involved. It is extremely well done. Guys, I know you've watched it, I've watched it, Mike's watched it, I've seen the whole thing. I thought it was fantastic. I did fast forward a little bit through some of the AFC Championship stuff because that was a little too depressing to watch. But I thought that, I mean, the stuff with Mahomes in particular, for those who may not have watched the whole thing, when you see some of the stuff with Mahomes, first of all, he calls everybody dog. You notice that?
Yeah.
Hey, dog.
I was actually watching at 1.5 speed trying to catch up because it's kind of hard to keep up with the dialogue when you put it at 1.5 speed.
Yeah.
I was trying to crank through some of this.
Hey, good Rush 9-2.
Yeah.
Good Rush 9-2. Yeah, that's a good one right there.
He get pissed at Max Rock. But some of the insight into what happened in the AFC divisional round when he got hurt against Jacksonville. And
Crazy.
He's on the sideline. Like, they don't even know if his ankle is broken.
Yeah.
He can barely put any weight on it. And he's on the sideline. Reed's telling him, we're gonna take you out. And he's like, no. I don't know. Like, I know he's competition. I get it. I certainly get it. That's why I was fantastic. All right? I get it. He's
So, the thing I get back for the most of it is, people sometimes get mad about the type of money these make. But just go back and watch through the episodes and watch just how much outside stuff, like outside the facility, not during practice. Like these guys, when Mahomes was going to his trainer, and he was doing it during the season, Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Yeah.
He's in there running full sprints and clock times and all kind of crazy things. And like this stuff, I'm like, this is on outside. And I'm like, bro, they do. Kirk Cousins has electrodes on his head and
training his brain. How many times did Kirk Cousins, man, you hear him on the field just like screaming in pain?
Yeah.
It's like, so like you don't think about that as someone who didn't play, but
that was one of my big takeaways from this.
Yeah.
Was seeing, and you always hear, G, you played, you know this. I never played football outside of state.
What?
I can't speak on this.
Most likely I am.
That add up over.
What do you mean? Yeah, they said as long as the dude comes in at 2, because if they don't, then, or 3, they wouldn't have nobody to do it, but as far, yeah. Oh well.
The course of a 17-game season,
especially
you're getting hit by 250 to 350 pound dudes. There was a scene in the first episode when Mahomes was playing against the Raiders and Max Crosby.
I punched him in the head.
Kind of hitting him a little after the whistle and was playing mind games. That was how he just punched him. Like in the arm after the thing. And Mahomes like, and I don't want to curse, but he's like, dude, you can hit me. Don't punch me like that. And he came back. Kirk Cousins was never on the injury list last season for the Vikings. He was never listed as questionable. He was never listed as doubtful. He was probable most of the time, but very rarely even shown on the injury report.
They don't do probable anymore.
So he wasn't on the injury report whatsoever. And he talked about week after week spending 10 to 15 hours with trainers outside of the facility in his own home, just getting his body ready to prepare.
Chiropractors that come to his house.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Hours and hours with people outside the facility on his own, after practice, after working with the trainers.
Those guys take
just to get his body ready.
And I gotta say, because I always gotta go back there.
I was thinking the exact same thing. Go ahead and say it.
For all the excuses that were made for Baker playing like shit when he hurt his shoulder, that I feel even more vindicated saying, you're on the field, you gotta play.
Yeah.
Because we didn't hear excuses for other guys. Kirk Cousins, now, listen, they lost in the playoffs. Well,
He threw a pass 3
Kirk
yards on
Cousins
4th
played,
down.
had a great season last year. And he had the shit beat out of him. I mean, he was acting up the whole year.
It was like I just forgot about this. I was watching Kirk Cousins on the thing.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there getting emotional. And I was like, man, what the hell is wrong? It was by myself. I was trying to get through the episode. I'm like, man, why am I acting like that? Like emotional. And it's because, like, when he was doing all that training stuff, like, I remember I used to be hurt and have to go through all these different things and get your knee drained and all these other, get your knee scoped and all these different surgeries that you had or back or neck. And I was sitting there thinking and remembering to myself, I was like, bro, I thought there was something just wrong with me. Like, I just thought, like, you know, like, am I not tough enough? Am I not, like, I should be able to go out and just play without doing all this stuff. And then it just hit me, like, when I was watching it, nah, man, like, and I knew this, but everybody go through it. And it's the mental, like, I thought I was just mentally screwed up because I'm like, bro, I shouldn't, I don't like this. I'm always with the trainers. I got to do all this other stuff. It's just crazy. I just want to play. Remember, you think about the times when you could just get up and just go do what you wanted to. And then when you see him and you see guys at that next level, you realize, nah, that's every player. Everybody has these injuries, and it's the mental grind that just wears you down, where you just, some days you don't know how you got it. Like, he was sitting there saying, hey, Tuesday, I don't know how I'm going to play.
Right.
And by Thursday, he's out here throwing the football.
Right.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's amazing what these guys go through. And so you were going to say the same thing. Like, the Baker excuses seem so ridiculous now.
That's the first thing I thought of.
Yeah.
When you're talking about all the work that these guys have to do. And the one thing about Mahomes that was interesting, I'm going to mess this up. His trainer was talking about he only loses 3% of motion, and most guys lose 20%.
That was wild. All the neck training,
all the neck
spine
training, spine training, and the
Fascinating.
machines that he uses.
Yeah, it looks so weird.
Yeah, to gain flexibility, and how much baseball helps his hips, and how little range of motion he loses compared to most people.
Right.
And that's what helps him
Never
with some of
thought
these
about any of that
unorthodox
stuff,
throws.
right?
Yeah,
I
it's wild.
the trainer seems like a little bit of an odd duck.
Most of them are.
Yeah, that's right.
So about that trainer,
Yeah.
my sports director when I was in Texas.
Yeah.
So the Jimmy Donovan to Nick Camino here. I was Nick Camino.
Yeah,
He worked in Tyler and covered Mahomes in high school.
right.
And he says that he did a story when Mahomes went to Texas Tech on that trainer. And this is before he had moved to Kansas City
Right.
and built this massive facility that's essentially
Awesome.
Mahomes' playhouse.
Right. I'm sure he trains other people, but
Yeah, he does, but
Yeah.
it's when Mahomes comes in, it's Mahomes' playhouse.
Right,
and when
yeah.
he's not there, everyone else can come in. And he did a story when he was working in East Texas in Tyler, and Mahomes went to White House High School, which is right outside Tyler. It was like an old barn that he turned into a workout shed like that, but
Yeah.
obviously not that extreme. And it was like after I went to that story, I was like, this dude's a loony bin. He's got no freaking clue what he's talking about. He's talking about neck movement, and it's like if Mahomes trusts him, and this is the best high school player I've ever
who
seen.
said
Like,
this guy's crazy?
my sports director.
Well, how would he know?
Because he grew up playing football as a quarterback in high school, and then seeing these guys do this drills that he had never even thought of.
Well, just because they're new doesn't mean they're wrong.
My point, what
Yeah.
I'm getting at is, he may be loony.
Yeah.
He's right. Whatever he's doing is working. But he came out, this is before Mahomes.
Right, guys.
This was Mahomes in high school before he made a
Ah,
mark at
gotcha.
Texas Tech.
Okay.
And he's like, why is he doing this kind of stuff?
Yeah.
It makes no sense. I'm 10 years older than him. I played,
Yeah.
high school football
This guy
in
was
Texas
ahead
at
of
a big
the
time
head
high
of the
school.
curve. Yeah.
And I never did anything like that. Yeah.
Type stuff with pitcher.
It's
Yeah,
different.
Doesn't it? See, this is it. Now I know I can't be the only one that I think about this. When they was doing all this stuff, what they be doing, did it cross your mind? Like, what is your shot?
7302. 7302.
I didn't think about that, but
He was gallivanting through Europe.
Like you and you like.
Which is fine. I don't.
No.
That came out wrong. These guys are out of their time.
But
They need to enjoy their time.
I wasn't going, but what I was saying was, at the level that we want to go, or the level we want to get to, and these guys are standing in front of you,
Yep.
you ask yourself, all right, he has to be doing at least
right.
this type
If
of
the
level
best
work.
quarterback in football is doing this,
That we-
well, if I want to compete with him, I got to do even more.
And I came away thinking after the thing, oh, we in trouble. Not everybody, but like not just us. Everybody. It's like watching like Michael Jordan, like come from Space Jam and getting hooping and doing like they're at that level. When I see him working out that many times during the week, even after he's injured, I said that's crazy. You're doing 3 hard
Yeah.
workouts.
It is insane how he came back.
The fact he played in the playoffs after that ankle thing
Right.
is the dumbest, most
in the
absurd thing
Bengals
ever.
game a week later, didn't even look hurt at all. I'm sure he was affected by it.
I mean, we talked about
He
it
didn't
hurting.
look hurt at all in that game.
He said mentally, I had to tell myself it didn't hurt so many times till I convinced
Right.
myself I just wasn't in pain.
Yeah.
One thing I want to talk about with Mahomes, and we'll get into a little bit of the Mariota stuff, which
Yeah.
I could have done without, but when they talked about the process in practice of coming up with some of their diabolical plays, like the Pokemon play they ran in the
That
Super
was
Bowl,
wild. Yeah.
I'm curious, and Jason, I wonder if you know. Mahomes talked, and Kelsey talked about this too, on a different podcast, but it lined up. They have a period of practice every week where players can come in with trick plays and present it to Andy Reid. They'll run it, and if Reid likes it, they'll try to tweak it and put it in
Well,
place.
if Reed and Mahomes like it,
Yeah, I'm saying if it
Right,
gets
yeah.
approved, but like anyone can come in, an offensive lineman come in with
he
a play.
encourages
He encourages the
to be
players to
creative
kind of
with
come up with
play
That's
plays.
crazy.
Is that commonplace around the NFL? Is that an Andy Reid special?
I haven't heard of that before. Now again, I spent most of my career in the NBA, not the NFL. But in the last few years I've been around the NFL, I have not heard of that. It doesn't mean it's not happening. I could see Kevin being open to something like that.
He should be. Every coach should be.
Yeah, I can see that. He's actually very collaborative, but I haven't heard of any specific period. I'll ask around. I'll poke around on that and see if that's common or not.
It just seems really cool that Andy Reid, maybe one of, if not a top Mount Rushmore level offensive line in the history of the sport.
Yeah.